a sharp angle. Glorious scoring opportunity for the NHL there. Dion is hustling, couldn't come up with it. Gainey is in there. It's passed back to Putin starting out into the center ice area. Over the line, back broke it up. Now Barber clearing it on the right side. Vilja Ledinov laid it back there. He's behind the net trying to shake off the checking of shot. Shot has it. He in turn lost it. And Golikov got it out to center. Vilja Ledinov is in over the line. The other Golikov gets it to the side of the net, and Dryden holds on for a faceoff.
Right there, one of the few times the Soviets have thrown that pass right up the center and click. The Challenge Cup, the series of the century.
Via Rail Canada. It's a way of making travel enjoyable again. Because Via gives you a choice. A choice of how you go, a choice of fares with our new Fare for All plan, and of course there's a choice of trains. And lots of courteous, helpful Via people. It's your choice. Be good to yourself. Take the train.
Well, there's the Soviet announce team. Mr. Buzarov, who has been here so many times, as Bobby mentioned, does the game from ice level directly beside the Soviet bench.
Golikov, Vladimir, and Alexander out there with Makarov for the Soviets. It's cleared over the glass, and again they will face off in deep NHL territory as we look at defenseman Perzukin. The shots on goal, 20-12 at this stage in favor of the NHL. They lead 4-1. NHL getting the draw. Dion trying to clear it out. It's kept in. Makarov right in front. There's a shot. They score! Picking up the rebound, Vladimir Golikov.
And the rebound was the key, Bobby Orr. They couldn't control it after Dryden made the first save.
Big scramble in front of the net, Dick, and the rebound comes back to Golikov, and Kenny didn't have a chance. He was down. There was 2 or 3 bodies on him. Yeah, with all the bodies there, you think I would have stayed under, but fortunately they didn't.
Now, early in the third period, the Soviets get on the board for the second time, and it's now a 4-2 hockey game. A close-up look at Dryden's first save. The pile-up with him pinned, and the rebound into the net.
So, a big goal for the Soviets. 4-2, NHL leading. Vasiliev, the veteran defenseman. Ahead to Golikov, who was upended at center by Trottier. Now Perzukin in the corner takes a look. There's the announcement on the goal. To the side of the net it comes. Dryden covers up. Robinson failed to clear it out. It's centered right in front of the net. Alexander Golikov couldn't get a good shot. Gillies coming up with Trottier and Bossy. They clear it into the Soviet zone. Trottier behind the net to Bossy. Back to Gillies. There's a weak shot. It's in the crease, and Trottier cover it up.
Now there's the young man who scored the goal, and the younger of the 2 Golikov brothers. And obviously he puts the puck in the net back in the Soviet Union as well.
Face off to the right of Tretiak. Savard playing up inside the line with Beck. Now they have to go back. A spinorama move by Savard, and then he tosses a pass that missed Gillies, but it was offside in any case at the Soviet line.
Clark Gillies, the goal scorer here tonight, and Bobby, probably the most effective NHL body checker in the game.
Well, he's thrown a lot of good checks tonight. He's not really taking long runs at them, but it's something I think we have to do against the Soviets is take their bodies, and Clark's certainly been doing it tonight. He's doing a fine job.
The Soviet line at the present time comprises Varnikov, Colvin, Kavorsov. Now it's cleared in by Savard. Vilja Ledinov into the corner. He falls, and the play is stopped again. So we're getting a fair frequency of whistles within the first 5 minutes of the third period as Coach Bowman looks on.
Time of that that goal with 3:02.
Dion is tied up. Dvorak starts out on the right side. He falls. Now Chuck and LaFleur on the move on the right side. A drop pass. There's a shot. It didn't miss by too much from the stick of Dion. The pass off a stick rolls back to the NHL line. Savard is forced back in there by Varnikov. It's out over the line. Varnikov is on it. Starikov gets it. He rolled it in over the line, and Savard around the net takes a look and plays it up on the left side. Shot trying to get it. The Soviets were on it. Now Dion coming up on the right side. LaFleur is cruising in front. Starikov blocked the pass intended for LaFleur. Dvorak into the center ice area. Couldn't get very far. Dion to LaFleur. Back the shot. And it was broken up inside the line by Koden. Now, Dvorak couldn't get very far at center. Cleared it to Harlamov. The Soviets making changes. Puck is along the boards and cleared down the ice by Perro. Fedorov, the defenseman. Harlamov back there to get skating room. Played it over to Vasiliev. Soviets away before the mat center. They headman that puck. And Mikhailov was just offside.
Live from New York, this is the Challenge Cup.
Zenith announces a breakthrough. System 3. The best Zenith ever. A brand new picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. And an all-new modular chassis. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. Zenith System 3. It's the best Zenith ever.
One of the distinguished spectators here tonight, Dr. Gunter Stebetsky, president of the International Ice Hockey Federation.
Face-off outside the Soviet line. 14.5 minutes left in the third period. NHL 4, USSR 2. Harrell got it to the wing to Robinson. He fed it in there. The strategy of the NHL to get possession, clear it into Soviet territory. Try to hem in the Soviets before they can get that speed utilized.
17,438.
There we see Fritz Gambatti, Billy Harris, and the CBC radio crew handling the game on the other side of the arena.
Lanny McDonald missed on a golf swing. Is lugged into the center ice area over the line. Harlamov jammed out of the play by McDonald. Robinson to Sittler. He lost it to Mikhailov, who whipped it in over the line, and it's returned up by Salming and propelled down the ice by McDonald. There's Perro trying to center it. Here's Sittler returning it to the far side. Harlamov turning, coming out. He has some great moves. He hasn't shown too many tonight, however. He lost it. They failed to clear it out the first time, the NHL, and then McDonald, in clearing it, had to go over the glass.
NHL officials working tonight. Bob Myers, the referee. There will be NHL linesmen in all three of the games. Andy Van Helleman of the NHL will work the third game Sunday, and on Saturday afternoon, the referee will be the Soviet official, Viktor Dombrowski. The linesmen will change for each game.
Luptov, number 22. Vilya Ledinov, 14. There's a shot over the top of the net by Luptov. In on the boards, they jam, fighting for possession. Kapustin was given a shove by Clark, and there's the former president of the National Hockey League, Clarence Campbell. He will be formally honored by the NHL at the Waldorf Astoria tomorrow night. And he looks pretty well for a fellow who was in sick bay last week. Those Campbells are rugged. Now up on the left side. Clark couldn't clear it out. Vilya Ledinov knocked it back in there. Beck is tied up along the boards. Clark, aggressive, fights for it. The whistle goes just as Clark came away with it.
You know, with a 4-2 lead, Dick, I think it's important now that the NHL All-Stars keep the puck moving ahead. Forget about the drop passes, over center ice and get it in and going after it. trying to get fancy. A puck's going to bounce over the stick or something like that, and, it's going to be 4-3, and they're back in the hockey game.
Barber gets it to the line. Pervukin with a weak shot, has it on the target, and another face-off.
This game between the NHL All-Stars and the Soviet national team is coming to you from New York.
Can I help you?
Baboon Burger.
Nice car. What is it?
Chevy Chevette. Best-selling small car in North America.
What do you have on it?
AM radio, console, reclining bucket seats, white striped tires. It's all standard on the four-door Chevy Chevette. Even the hatchback.
Love it, but I don't need the hatchback.
How come?
I've already got a trunk.
Chevy Chevette, a lot of little car for the money.
Well, a group of distinguished members of Parliament from the Bahamas are here as guests of Mr. Ziegler of the NHL and Mr. Eagleson of the Players Association. Players Association meetings will be down there this spring. Hockey Legends Canada cameras will be there to cover it.
From the face-off, Savard to Clark. The corners are closed. Now Savard gets rid of it. Vilyanedinov had it back in over the line. Gainey swings the pass to center. Looked off, getting it over to Kapushkin. He's trying to feed it in front. The traffic is heavy there, and Barber clears it down the ice. Well, you see a pattern of the NHL playing it rather cautiously at times. With this 2-goal lead and 12 minutes and 40 seconds left in the hockey game. Algaris over the line. His pass is intercepted by Gainey. Gainey down on the left side. He stopped along the boards by Vilyanedinov. And now it's returned into the NHL zone. There's the steady veteran of the NHL, Savard. Over to his teammate Gainey. He flicked it into the Soviet zone. Starikov clearing it on the right side. Vilyanedinov coming in on the right side. He's cutting. He sent it right out in front. And is swept away by Salming, who has been a tower of power on that defense for the NHL tonight. Now there's a shot by Gillies who broke up the play. Golikov ahead to Makarov on the right side. Makarov gets a shot. He hits Salming with it. Rossier lost it. Back at the line. Starikov takes a shot. There's another one by Golikov. He sent it right out in front. And it's carried to the far right wing by Rossier. And he just got rid of it back to the Soviet zone, and the Soviets for the match center. They hit the NHL line. Knocked down at the line to Vorskov. Here's Lafleur. Ahead it goes to Schutt. Up on the right side, broken up at center. Lafleur got it back from Starikov. Lafleur's on the move. He shot it in there. Fighting for possession along the board. Now to the other side to Dion. And he just missed that pass. The Soviets. Dvorsov at the line. He waited too long. Robinson ahead to Schutt. He's Schutt breaking through the defense. And he couldn't get through there clearly and failed to pick it up. He's digging away at it along the boards. It comes to the side of the net. And it's held for a face-off.
Now they're almost at the halfway mark of the third period. And Bobby, you're right. The NHL has got to move it out. They've got to move toward the other end. They can't fire and fall back, really.
It appears that they're trying to sit on the 2-goal lead, and I'll tell you, you get burned every time you try to do that. We've got to get that puck over center and going after it. In our end, in their end, they've got to be careful, get it out over that blue line as safely as possible. Because the Soviets are skating right now.
4-2. Back to Schutt. He winds up and the shot ricochets off a leg. Pervukin is looking for a loose puck. They jam in on the board. Dion and defenseman number 2, Fedorov. There's Dion and Lafleur. He's been a hard worker tonight.
Well, Bobby, the Guy Lafleur the Soviets are seeing tonight a different player than in '76.
Well, I think he's a better player now.
A lot more
I think he gets better every year.
Schutt takes another shot. Fedorov in front of it again. He cleared it to center. Salming to Dion. He misses Schutt with it. He goes after it. Schutt does, and the pass went off Dvorak back it is into the Soviet zone. Canadians moving up there to do their forechecking. There's a pass on the left side. It's lugged in over the line, called on the offside against Fedorov.
You are watching the series of the century live from Madison Square Garden.
Canada is a big country. From the St. Lawrence to the Pacific, there's mile after mile of always changing, always beautiful scenery. To span these vast distances, Reimer Express offers Canadian industry fast, reliable service on a daily scheduled basis. A small shipment or a full load, Reimer Express has the necessary experience, equipment, and personnel to provide the service you want. Reimer Express, we've got what it takes to take what you've got.
Face-off outside the NHL line. 10 minutes and 8 seconds left in the third period. NHL 4, USSR 2. They jam in on the board. And again, they get a whistle.
Little social note right here. The Soviets held a meeting, the players. Petrov was the leader of it. They wanted to decide what movie to see here in New York. Settled on Superman. They all went on that.
And there is Savard. Harlamov and Mikhailov doing the forechecking. Vasiliev stopped his man, Sittler. Savard to the other side to Lanny McDonald, bumping along the board with Vilya-Levinov.
The Soviets now, Dick, have decided to leave 2 men in deep all the time, and that's what they're doing. They're down 2 goals. They've got to get one quickly to get back in the game. There's 9:47 to play, and they're sending everyone in. So it's going to be a tough last half of the third period for the NHL Stars.
5-2 shots in favor of the Soviets this period.
Many of these fans tonight in the Garden are, of course, Ranger fans, and they are hollering for Nilsson and Hedberg. Here's Carroll. A shot. And it went off Vasilyev's stick over the glass. With the frequency of the whistles, of course, the pace of this hockey game has slowed perceptibly. And it's understandable, I suppose, because of the cushion by the NHL. And we speculated at the end of the second period that at times they would play it in a rather cautious fashion in this third period. Shots on goal, 21-16 in favor of the NHL. A weak shot by Perreault. Vasiliev tried to set up Harlamov. Now a long pass. Sittler took the rink-wide pass from Savard. Vilya-Levinov bumping there with Lanny McDonald. Vasiliev ahead. It goes into the center ice area. Mikhailov is over the line. He dropped it to Petrov. There's a hard shot. But Dryden had it well covered on the short side. Here's young Beck from the corner. He flipped it ahead. It got by Sittler. And back for Vilya-Levinov. Vasiliev. Ahead it goes. Mikhailov against Robinson. It's in over the line. Harlamov bumping along with Salming. They go down. Petrov is trying to get it loose, but the whistle sounds, and the play again is stopped.
Now there's Mihailov, the captain. He keeps hollering at the linesman. I don't know whether they can understand him. Face-offs in the second period. Bob, again, the NHL controlled it. Out of 25, they won 16. So 36-19 over 2 periods. Important. Clark wins another one.
Robinson around the net. Barber looks behind him. Luktov slapped it away from Clark. And again, a face-off. This time, just in over the NHL line.
Now Scotty Boland's hearing it, as Danny mentioned, from the fans. Every time he makes a line change and Nilsson and or Hedberg don't show up, they boo.
Robinson. Salming returns it now. Gainey cleared it up on the left side. Luktov is back there to the other side to Kapustin. He ran into Barber. Pervukin tying up Barber. And the whistle brings the face-off down into Soviet territory.
This is live coverage of game number 1 for the Challenge Cup.
There it is. The last one. What a night.
Hey, Terry, celebrating this.
Well, there's no 2 ways about it, Terry, old pal. You really did it this time.
What's the occasion?
Well, you knew they'd go for it. And the reaction?
Hey, all right.
Brador, no less.
You'd have thought they'd never seen it before.
Next time, bring out the Brador. Your generosity will be appreciated, and your good taste remembered.
It has been ruled by the official that the NHL was responsible for holding the puck in the corner, so the face-off outside the line is drilled back in by Salming. To the far side, Gainey bumping with Starikov along the boards. Now Starikov, he misses Kapushkin by 3 or 4 feet with that pass. Salming up on the left side to Gainey. Clark trying to come up with it. He does. Clark is over the line. There's the shot for Vukin. Got his stick on it to deflect it wide. Starikov. He hits Balderas at the line into the center ice area. Balderas stick handling beautifully in over the line. Still with it. Now he is belted by Barber. 3 NHL players coming back. Barber right in front. And a tip by Gillies and a scintillating save by Tretiak. Looked off over the line. Kapushkin winds up and he's fired it. And it went off Robinson's stick over the net and over the glass.
Boy, NHL sneaked an extra player out there. Mike Bossy hopped on very quickly. There is Tretiak. What a super stop he made. Bobby on the deflection by Mark Gillies.
Billy Barber makes a fine play here. This was Gillies' strength. He kept in there with sheer strength. He's having a heck of a game too, Gillies is. And Barber put I forget who was it he hit.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Was it Balderas coming across?
The goalie Cobb and Makarov, the forward line for the Soviets. Bossy, Trottier, and Gillies. There's Gillies getting a Trottier pass. Vasiliev swings the pass for the Soviets. Golikov breaking through, and Dryden knocked it to the right wing board. Now it's right in front. Golikov takes his shot and deflected off Dryden just wide to that far side. That was a close call. The Soviets battle for it. Along the boards in front. Golikov. And he waited too long, and he lost it. Bossy coming out with Trottier. Trottier digging into the corner. It's knocked away from him by Fedorov. Now Vasiliev behind the net. He headmans the puck to Golikov. He lost it to LaFleur with that ahead move. Then he was knocked off balance very effectively by Vasiliev. Puck at the Soviet line. Alexander Golikov got it out. Bringing it back in as Dion working into the corner. Puts on the brakes along the boards against Vasiliev to LaFleur. And the Soviets start out over the line. 2 of them over on the far side. It goes to Colvin. He had just come off the bench and is called on the offside. 6 minutes and 4 seconds left in the hockey game.
I think Vasiliev is known as the best body checker on the Soviet team, and he did a good job on LaFleur. Not too many defensemen can get the hip into him when he gives you that wide move toward the boards.
He threw a heck of a hip check, a Bobby Bond hip check.
Right.
And now Vernikov has Dvorak out there to join Colvin. Robinson has it. He cleared it through center. At the line. Shot fighting for possession against Vernikov. To the far side. Dvorak into the corner. Colvin trying to center it. He falls. It's whipped along the left side. And down the ice it goes. Vilya Levinov back there for him. To the far side. LaFleur keeping it in. Gives it to Dion. Dion swings it right in front. And another outstanding save on the deflection by Tretiak. This time off the stick of LaFleur. Soviets coming back in. Here's Colvin. Draped in on the boards by Robinson. It's behind the net on the mesh, and the play is stopped with 5:16 to play in the hockey game. 4-2 for the NHL.
Well, another youngster in the Soviet team. He's only 21 years of age, Varnikov. 5 goals and 5 assists in those 4 games the Wings played against NHL opposition. And now we'll go downstairs and join Dave Hodge.
Following the game, the Molson Player of the Game Awards gold medallions will be presented to one player from each team. Making the presentations tonight, one of the all-time greats of this game, Jean Beliveau, former centerman with the Montreal Canadiens.
Here's Landy McDonald centering it in front of the net. The Soviets starting out on the right side. Big Petrov fired it. It's off Perro's stick. Goes to Salming, and he dumped it down the ice. Here's Perro going in a goal. Perro is called on the outside.
Larry Robinson really hit Harlamov on that full exchange, and the Soviet star has gone to the bench, and he is hobbling to the bench and has just made it. Robinson hit him dead on just outside the Soviet blue line, and he shook him up. Here's a look, I think, at that last
Jan
one,
and LaFleur, right. Well,
back of the net.
Lean over to put the puck. LaFleur goes to the net.
Now the Soviets in the NHL zone. Screenshot. Sharikov took that, but Dryden had no difficulty in the final analysis with it. Petrov passed it back. It's intercepted by Perro with that head fake. Now Perro getting the pass back. Actually, it was a shot by Salming, and he couldn't make contact. Now into the center ice area. Over the line. Makarov fired that hard shot over the top of the net up on the right side. Clark coming up with Sickler. Over to Sickler. Sickler going right in on goal. And he went in too far with Petchiak coming out to block him. Now the puck into the center ice area. Savard waiting for Barber to get onside. Savard working the corner, trying to get in front. Takes the shot, the rebound. It's Barber trying to center it. He's tied up partially and now completely by Vasiliev, with Clark going in there, getting a stoppage in play.
Boy, what a chance for Darryl Sittler. He's had two big ones in this game. Early in the game, he was hauled down for a penalty when he was in alone. And right there, eyeball to eyeball with Tretiak, Bobby. Here it is.
He couldn't get a handle on it. He seemed to lose it. It seemed to jump on him right here, and he loses control of it. And Tretiak comes out and cuts him down.
3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the hockey game. 2 goals separating the teams. 4-2. NHL leading. Savard and Beck playing up, and there's Savard whipping a shot. It went off the leg of Fedorov. Now Gainey trying to get it. Fedorov couldn't get the pass. It was blocked by Barber. Clark failed to keep it in. Kapustin, his pass nowhere near the intended receiver, Balderas. Puck is back into Soviet territory. Fedorov gets that puck ahead. Balderas, he has excellent speed coming in on the right side. He has the good moves, too. But that time he couldn't outguess young Beck. The Canadian representative, the NHL, and the United States representative, we get both of them in there. They shot it down the ice.
That was a quick recovery, but didn't do it completely.
Not to mention the Swedish players who are in the lineup as well, Daddy.
Well, they're Canadians now.
3:06, Bobby left. Scotty Bowman knows time is a big factor right here.
Now doing a great job forechecking.
Alexander Golikov tipped it to his brother, Vladimir. He has it on the boards. He fired it back to his brother on the other side. Makarov is the other forward for the Soviets. There's a shot cleared out to the right side by Salming. Vladimir Golikov coming in on the right side. His shot went off Robinson. Robinson covering up in the corner. Makarov. He lost it. Rossier just got out over the line. That's back in, called on the offside. 2.5 minutes left in the hockey game.
Well, there's number 25, Vladimir Golikov, who scored the second Soviet goal in this hockey game here in the third period to make it 4-2. 2.5 minutes, and again, the Ranger fans respond to the fact that a line change does not produce either Pilson or Anders Hedberg. I don't believe either one of them has been on the ice here in this third period.
Well, Scotty now is going to his defensive players. He's got the 2-goal lead. He doesn't need any more goals, so I'm sure that's the reason Hedberg and Nilsson haven't been on this third period.
Gavortsov, Varnikov, and Koven. The line at the moment for the Soviets. Time becoming a very important factor for the Soviets. Digging into the corner, LaFleur. He lost it to Bill Yeldetinoff. Now Starikov is behind the net. He comes up with it. He headmans the puck. It goes all the way down the ice. It went through the corner of the crease. No icing. LaFleur missed a pass on the right side. Bill Yeldetinoff again clearing it out to Starikov. Colvin over on the left side for Varnikov. Dvorsov to the left wing against the Bird, and it's knocked back into the center ice area. At the line, Schutt cleared it to center. 4-2, NHL leading the Soviets. A minute and a half left in the hockey game. Vasiliev backtracks to his own line. Lanny McDonald had a chance to pick up the puck, and he missed it. Varnikov fades to the left side, back to Vasiliev. That had something on it. That was almost high. It went off his stick and ricocheted, and Dryden had difficulty. He made that move, that unnatural move at the last split second. You could see it from here. Now on the left side, coming in over the line. Mikhailov to Petrov. Less than a minute to go. 57 seconds left. Makarov on the left side. The pass intended for Mikhailov. Robinson knocked it to center. Vasiliev clearing it to center to Petrov. To Mikhailov on the right side. Ran into Perro and Robinson. Robinson back near the corner to pick it up to the other side to Lanny McDonald, who propelled it down into the center ice area. Now a half minute left. Here's Petrov. Petrov is working in there. Makarov tried to get a shot. He was checked by Salming. Back to the line. There's a screen shot from Fedorov, and it was wide. Vasiliev keeping it in. The Soviets with some final pressure here. And Salming finally rolls it down the ice. The countdown has started. 4, 3. Vasiliev getting it to center. The game is over. And the NHL defeats the USSR 4-2 in the first game of a 3-game series.
Well, there it is, Bobby Orr. The final score, 4-2. Shots on goal in the final period, 9-5 for the Soviets, but 24-20 overall for Team NHL. And I would have to think that, on balance, the 4-2 score represents a pretty good indication of the play tonight.
Dick, they had a plan. The NHL All-Stars had a plan. They stuck with their plan. They played very, very intelligent hockey. Kenny Dryden came up with the saves when he had to, and I thought it was a fantastic game.
Well, you're right. They had the early lead, and sometimes that can lull a team into some false security, if you will. The Soviets had moments when they did dominate things, but Dryden, even, as you pointed out, not many saves in that second period in particular, but big saves, every one of them, and it made a difference.
It was a great team effort. Lanny McDonald, I don't think he was in on the scoring. No, he wasn't in on the scoring, but defensively, he played a heck of a game. He was that third man coming back all night long. Good body checks. Guys like Lanny played a fantastic game.
Well, the boys in the trenches, the Gainies, the Gillies, the McDonalds, they were the ones that really slugged it out. I thought LaFleur played a magnificent game tonight all around. Of course, when you get a goal as he did after only 16 seconds, it can set you up. Bobby, thanks very much, and we certainly look forward to games 2 and 3 working with you here in the broadcast booth.
Thank you.
4-2, the final score. Team NHL beating the Soviet national team live from New York. This is the Challenge Cup.
Good win.
Science has made an important discovery in outer space, inner space. The age of the Malibu, 1979 Chevrolet Malibu. It measures up on the inside, where dimensions really count. It gives you dashboard modules that are easy to remove for quicker service. And Chevrolet Malibu features GM's high-pressure compact spare for inner trunk space. And the standard V6 engine saves space, saves weight. 79 Chevrolet Malibu. It has more for you on the inside. A new star in the age of inner space.
We have an extra moment here with Bobby Orr. Just to recap again, Bobby, I'd like you to perhaps get in a little more detail of the game played by Guy Lafleur, because he has been chosen the outstanding NHL player. Golikov, number 25, the outstanding player for the Soviets.
Well, you asked earlier, what's the difference in Guy Lafleur now than 76? And if it's possible, I think he's a smarter player now. He's matured. He's often, or I've often heard people say, well, defensively, he's not that good, but he's got the puck all night long, and if you've got the puck, that's a great defense. But he's just improved since 76. He's just a fantastic athlete.
When they talked about the setup of the series, they said, well, you're going to see Lafleur and Balderas, and, we say he's our best. They say Balderas is their best. Tonight was really no contest. I can't recall. They had Balderas shackled all night.
Well, he was hit a couple times. I think Billy Barber hit him once. Larry Robson hit him a good check. Clean checks, good checks. But if I had my choice, I think I'd have to go with Mr. Lafleur.
Bobby, very briefly, we just have a few seconds left. Anything about the Soviets tonight that surprised you a little bit?
Not really. No, I don't think anything, Dick. I think that's what Scotty expected. That's what I expected. I think that's what the players expected. Saturday's going to be another tough one.
Okay, Bobby, thanks very much. The presentations are going on now to Players of the Game by Jean Beliveau. Let's join that now.
It's a great pleasure tonight to present the Molson Player of the Game Award for a fine effort and a great exhibition. Il me fait plaisir de présenter le médaillon Molson à Guy Lafleur, qui a été choisi le joueur le plus distingué pour l'équipe du Canada. Guy, sincères félicitations. Merci. Encore une fois, de cette magnifique exhibition. To Guy, who was chosen the NHL Player of the Game, sincere congratulations, and it's a pleasure to present the Molson Player of the Game Award.
What have I got on camera? So there you have it. Jean Beliveau, one of the all-time greats who never really got a chance to participate in something like this, a big international confrontation, officiating at the ceremonies honoring the players of the game. 4-2, Team NHL winning from Madison Square Garden in New York. This is the Challenge Cup.
Oldsmobile Cutlass for $79 is different cars for different people. Those who want the nicest of luxury touches choose Cutlass Supreme Broom. With richness inside you'd expect in bigger, more expensive cars. Or drive the great space efficiency machine, Olds Cutlass Salon. Inside you'll find lots of front and rear legroom and headroom, thanks to the distinctive Salon roofline. A wagon in the Cutlass class should marry practicality with Olds quality, and Cutlass Cruiser does. A sedan ride in a hard-working wagon with an available 5.7-liter V8 diesel engine. Only Olds offers diesel V8 power for mid-sized cars. All Cutlass models come with solid Olds engineering and that great Cutlass feeling on the road. Step up to Oldsmobile. Have one built for you.
The National Hockey League wins the first of 3 Challenge Cup games by a score of 4-2. Guy Lafleur and Vladimir Golikov are selected as the players of the game, and the NHL got a quick lead, which was very instrumental in this victory. A goal in the first minute by Lafleur, and then at 16:22 on a power play by Mike Bossy. The Soviets had their moments where they controlled play, and Boris Mikhailov on a power play seized one of those moments to give the Soviets their first goal. But Bob Gainey scored a very big goal to put the NHL in front 3-1, and then the only goal of the second period was by Clark Gillies, giving the NHL the 4-1 lead. They played with that lead in the third period. The Soviets got the only goal by Golikov, and the NHL wins 4-2. But this series is not over. There are 2 games left, and you could not say that the Soviets were outclassed. Tonight, they were outscored. The next game will be Saturday afternoon. Note the starting time, 2 o'clock from Madison Square Garden, and we hope you'll be with us after watching this one. There's more great hockey coming up. Great stars. There could be lineup changes on both sides, and the NHL needing 2 victories to clinch the cup and wanting 3 victories to show domination will be at it again on Saturday. We bid you good night from New York.
Game 1 of the Challenge Cup, the series of the century, has been brought to you by your Pontiac Buick GMC dealers. And by your Chevrolet Oldsmobile and Chevrolet truck dealers across Canada. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786.
This telecast has been produced for CBC by Canadian Sports Network in association with Harcom Consultants Limited. It is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the entertainment of the viewing audience. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of any kind in whole or in part with
tonight on the other NBA game. Madison Square Garden tonight, the first game in the best-of-3 Challenge Cup Series. The NHL All-Stars defeated the Soviet Union national team 4-2. Here with a report for Channel 7 Sports is Bud Fotopoulos.
It was billed as the series of the century, the top Soviet stars against the top stars of the National Hockey League. The NHL scored first, Bobby Clarke of the Flyers passing to Guy Lafleur of the Canadiens. The NHL led 1-0 after only 16 seconds of play. The Stars scored again at 6:42 into the first.